Hi guys, today we decided that Lucy's gonna go back into the 4,500 gallon. She's been in this 240 gallon for about 3 months and she lost about half of the weight she needed to lose, maybe a little more. But we need the tank for other fish, so I'm gonna put her back into her 4,500 gallon. I've changed the way I feed the fish in there. I only feed them there once a week now. So there is a good chance Lucy will not overeat with that frequency of feeding as bad as before. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna get her out and put her there. We're gonna take it easy, of course. I need to have her tire a little bit so she doesn't rip my net into too many pieces. Trick to catching big fish sometimes, the ones that struggle a lot, is to let them tire, let them wear out a little bit. Then they can handle better. Or not. At least we can try. Still might have a hole in my net, but it's not too big, so I can mend it. Yeah, she's the drama queen. Look what you've done to me. You scarred me for life. I'll never swim again as I used to. She'll come around in a couple of minutes. This is the stress response. Typical for Distichodus species. When you net them, they usually go into this state of shock for a few minutes, losing the ability to swim, but then they restore just fine. Yeah, 1 minute later she's swimming around. She's coming to it. My only concern is that she doesn't chew up that black caulk that I used to repair the crack. If she starts biting that, she's gonna have to come out again. But I hope she would not. And again, as I said, I'm gonna feed them, well, I started feeding them once a week. And it is working out for everybody in this tank. Paco get a little hungry over the week, but they're so fat and so thick, I don't think they're gonna suffer from this feast and famine. So it's a feast for 1 day and then famine for 6 days. In this regime, I think Lucy will do just fine if she overeats just once a week, as opposed to 3, 4, 5 times a week. I think it'll work out. She's still overweight, well overweight. You can see that her movements are limited. She's not flexible. She's way thicker than she should be. But she's much better than she was before. So we'll see how it goes. So on the Distichodus sexfasciatus compatibility, the tether on the fins of that black belly Paco is the work of a 20-inch Distichodus sexfasciatum. Over, I'd say about 3 weeks, it was harassing that Paco all the time. The Monsieur were too fast for him, so he couldn't catch them to bite them, but Paco wasn't fast enough to entirely avoid its advances. So Distichodus, the banded Distichodus, went into this tank with the Midas named Aiden, and about 50 red devils, little ones. And it's been in this tank for about a week. Initially, it was trying to bully the Midas, but the Midas wouldn't take it, of course. But at least the Midas is not bullying too badly him either. It's a male Distichodus, I judge from the size. The female I had before grew much faster to over 2 feet, like 25 inches in about 3 years. This Distichodus is almost 6 or 7 years old, and he's still about 20 inches. So it seems to be the balance, at least initial balance in this tank, is okay in terms of all this aggressive fish living together in a small space. I will soon be probably transferring it back into the 4,500 gallon where it came from. This is a timeout. But just wanted to mention that I was pleasantly surprised that at least initially the Midas and the Red Devils, the adult Midas, the juvenile Red Devils, and the adult 6-banded Distichodus are able to live more or less in harmony. Forgot to mention that 6-banded Distichodus is in the top 3 of the jerks I've ever kept, along with the purple labeo and Distichodus lusosso. And also I have seen adult 6-banded Distichodus housed with African cichlids such as Mbuna in a large tank, probably about 1,000 gallons, that had one large adult Distichodus sexfasciatum and a lot of, I don't know, hundreds of Mbuna, and they were fine, even though of course Mbuna are very, very feisty tank mates. Well, Aiton has been bullying the 6-banded Distichodus a bit too much for my comfort. It doesn't have much appetite in this tank, so it's gonna have to go home back to its 4,500 gallon where it was destroying my caulking job. Well, the caulk has cured, and I hope it'll leave it alone this time. If not, it's gonna come out again. But for now, he's gonna go back in there with Lucy. Surprisingly calm. This is pretty calm for it. Probably Aiton has done a good job bullying it. out. Yeah, the pearl sharks are destroying this tank, bumping into the walls. Like this is some kind of emergency. Anyhow, Lusy and Sexy, Distichodus sexfasciatum, I call Sexy, and Lusy is Distichodus lusosso. They're back in their home, where they come from. Lusy left because she was overeating and got morbidly obese. And Sexy left because he was destroying my caulk, the black caulk on the bottom, you see, where the tank separated, one seam separated. I caulked it, and Sexy decided to take bites out of it while it was still soft. So out it has gone into a timeout. So they're both back in this tank from the timeout, the rare side of our jello catfish. She's well over 2 feet now. So they both came back from the timeout, and I'm planning to feed this tank only once a week now, so Lusy would not overeat. I don't know how Sexy will take it. He likes his food. If he's gonna go back for my caulk, as I said, I'm gonna have to remove him again, or up the feeding, or change something. I don't know. It's a constant experiment and constant adjustment to the types of trouble that we have at hand. It's funny that Sexy is scared and is trying to either bite or school with Lusy. I don't understand what he wants from her. Right now he's scared out of your mind because I just netted him and put him in there. But at the same time he's placing his mouth on Lusy for some reason. Well, believe it or not, Sexy is trying to bully Lusy and the Pacu. Straight from the rehoming, straight out of the net. As soon as he went in there, it's like he's got some bottled up aggression from a long time and he's letting it out. He's chasing, see, he's chasing Lusy and do this side by side flapping and body jamming. Trying to bite her, and then he switches his attention over to the Pacu, does the same thing. What an aggressive piece of work. He was just having it from Aten for a long time. Aten was letting him have it, but not too viciously. I mean, all his fins were okay and scales are okay, but he lost a lot of appetite, which tells me he was stressed from Aten in that 240 gallon tank. Now I put him into this 4,500 gallon tank, and he's bothering Lusy, and then in short breaks that he gives Lusy, he's bothering Pacu, which he had done before. Both Lusy and Sexy, they dislike Pacu and they chase him out once in a while. They never touch catfish, of course. Catfish are too dangerous and too different looking. But their cousins and the Pacu they have something against. Well, if anything, maybe he will help Lusy lose weight. But if it's too much, I'm gonna have to take him out. Not because of the cock, but because of the aggression. Man, how long is he gonna train me? Horror. Pain in the butt. Well, Sexy has gone full-blown berserk on Lusy, so I had to pull him out of the 4,500 gallon, and it has completed its tour of the tanks. So this is its third 240 gallon tank. Lusy and Sexy lived together in the 4,500 gallon for about 2 years. We had occasional problems, but nothing ever of the magnitude I just witnessed. It was determined to have Lusy killed as soon as possible. Biting it and pulling out scales and slamming it, body slamming it and everything. Just as soon as I netted him and put him in there, he went right to it. No break, no nothing. So it looks like the life in 4,500 gallon now is over for Sexy.